Are we recording?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good. Did you listen then too? No. No. First thing we have, gentlemen. Thank you. First thing we have on our agenda is a one resolution, and then we'll get into the work session topics. So it's confusing. Mr. Rubio, read the resolution.
Yes, I will. Okay. In Dallas, what is that? We hereby accept the resignation of Officer Nicholas Tyson effective July 2nd, 2025.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. And I would like to thank Mr. Tyson for his years of service to the village at this time. Okay, that concludes our resolutions, and we're moving on to the discussion topics for the work session. First one being One Beach Lane zoning change request. Is there a representative? Okay, good. If you just want to pull up a chair or make yourself comfortable. The board has received a copy of your application. For a zoning change request. We've discussed it to a degree with our attorney. We do have a large number of issues with this and difficulties, to be honest. I think primarily our parking situation is a huge hurdle. And to be blatantly honest, the parking fund was established years and years ago and to assist with purchasing property and expanding parking. It is an ineffective tool, to put it bluntly, because the idea was to be able to purchase other properties and establish more parking. We do not have available properties at what I would call an affordable price. We've approached some people, some property owners, and they are just not interested. Parking is a marginally difficult situation right now, especially prime time. It's very difficult, but generally speaking, we can accommodate the demand. We did have a parking study done 1 year, 2 years ago. Okay, and it said that we have adequate parking, not an abundance of parking. There are a few underutilized parking lots, but other than that, we're in a pinch. And with the possible expansion of some other things in the future in existing buildings, we may have even more parking issues. So that I just want to be upfront with you that the parking is a huge issue for this.
When I was up the Navy, there was mention of extended parking along the south side of Main Street, which is very close to the property.
Yes, but that is to, yes, we're trying to maximize our parking spaces as much as we can to meet demand, but it can be an issue, honestly. Mr. Angel, did you want to?
Yeah, I'll be a little bit more, not specific, but maybe some good thoughts. The village is a bit in flux right now because of the sewer system. Not everybody has hooked up to the sewer system, which is a problem. We're supposed to hook up. And the last regular meeting, the board passed a resolution telling Brad and me to push. But there is also the potential, if the capacity of the sewer system is also has an impact on parking, and we don't know how that's going to play out. We don't have those numbers yet. So we have these issues that are all like moving at the same time that do impact whether the board should approve even a relatively low, I assume it would be retail stores or something like that. And so the parking would not be that great, but do we do that when we don't know what we need for the already existing ones? So everything's in flux, and we will not have that information for some time. So that's part of our problem.
I did meet with the Department of Health and Wastewater Management and also the Department of Public Works. He said that I could have somebody come and see if it was feasible to tap into the situation that already exists, the manhole behind Walgreens.
Behind what?
Walgreens.
Yeah.
Behind Walgreens, and it goes up Library Avenue, so that I
Yeah,
was
but
doing
that's-
the homework in the interim.
The answer to that is,
It's not-
under our agreement with the county, you cannot.
Okay.
You have to be within phase one. You would have to make an application, and the mayor knows, what's the proper terminology?
It's an out-of-district connection.
Out of district. You're not in
And
the district.
we did approach that situation with the county because unfortunately in phase one, there were a large number of buildings that we would have liked to include but could not just because of the expense and the cost and whatever. And those are primary concerns, I would say, for the environment and for the village. And one of them is the Seafield Center. We would very much would like to include that in the sewer system because that's a 100-bed facility. And it is not. So, and the owner of Seafield honestly is very interested in the sewer system and would like to connect. So that we're gonna prioritize those kinds of connections if we have a great deal of flow. You know, that's an out-of-district connection. So
Under our agreement with the county, we have no, there's nothing, we cannot force the county or even encourage the county to do an out of district. Remember that was
we
something.
can apply to them and they can reject it out of hand.
It's
That we
completely
have
up
no
to us.
control over that.
The
So-
people at the Department of Public Works just, this is what they told me, that they said if it
Okay,
was,
this
find
is-
out if it's doable and feasible, ask the contractor who did the work in town. And he said that it is doable, feasible, as long as Phillips says it's
Right.
okay, but of course it's an agreement.
The village doesn't have a say on that.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure,
Well,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
it's,
all the agreements either, but the other property next to me, which is Jimmy's, they said that they made arrangements so they could have access to the manhole and run the same distance away from
right,
the
it
manhole
is,
as that.
it is a logical conclusion.
Jimmy's is in the district.
It is, no, it
It's
is not,
phase-
it's phase two, yes.
Um,
Jimmy, oh wait, Jimmy's,
Yes.
oh, I'm thinking of the buildings on Beach. Yeah,
Jimmy's is in the district,
This is
and in
the
fact, he should be looking up, hasn't been up yet.
This is Beach Lane, because, just when I met with people, the contractor who did the work in the village, he said I can go through the parking lot to my property. Just, no, I know, I'm just, it's the same distance for Jimmy's to have access as it is to me, but that's all.
I think maybe, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think maybe what they were saying to you is physically the connection is possible, but if it's outside the scope of what phase one was,
Yeah.
they wouldn't.
We have a very complicated contract that took 2 years to negotiate with the
two, probably three.
maybe 3.
And the,
And all of these things were discussed, including some sort of mechanism for letting people who own property like Beaver's right next to the district get in, and they rejected all of that. So the way it stands now, the village cannot approve anything other than in phase one, which borders your property where Jimmy's is.
Right.
And that's true for the people on Sunset, and it's true for
up the road. Yes, phase two, if you're in phase two,
the idea
Or-
was, there's a limited capacity to the system. And they determined that just these limited parcels in the phase one area were going to possibly use up that capacity.
And if those people don't sign up or hook up.
They have to hook
up.
They have to.
Because I think there's something.
Yeah, and we're mad at them for not hooking up because we can't solve this problem completely completely until they hook up, because then we have to find out whether there's additional capacity after we monitor, after the county monitors the actual flow. So we're pressuring them now because one, it's the right thing to do, and two, the village wants to know whether it has more capacity to add people onto it.
I'd also do change of use things as well. I know that also the change of use, some
Can't
people
do that.
wanna do that after they hook up.
Right.
But you are in phase 2 of the sewer project. You're on next.
And we are have been having discussions, I should say, with the county. We are talking to our engineers about phase 2 and phase 3. We are trying to move forward, but it takes a great deal of time. Phase 1 baffles me that it took 8 years to do that. I don't think phase 2 and 3 will take 8 years, but it'll take some time. So I think what we're saying, I don't know unless the board has another thought, that it would be premature for us to make any changes at this point with regard to
I would be limited what I can do if I didn't have the sewer connection, but wouldn't I still be able to subdivide it if I wanted to, get approvals or prime credits or something like that?
And not build on it, like just to subdivide, that's it.
That's a health department issue. The question is how much, my guess is you probably have a difficult time on that lot, wouldn't you, Brad? We don't know what the capacity is.
Currently, the zoning is, the HC zoning, so it's 10,000 square feet per lot. I mean, the lot is big enough to,
No, I'm talking about septic.
yeah, we'll get there. The lot is big enough to subdivide under the current zoning, but with the single-family dwelling there, you need 20,000 square feet to support the dwelling. So you don't quite have 30,000 square feet. So I guess the impetus of this was change a portion to the B1, because then you wouldn't be beholden to the 10,000. B1 goes down to 2,000, so you're trying to find some space in there to make a subdivision without losing the dwelling.
Cause I have just under 30, like 29 and change.
So I think what you've proposed was, what was the size of the zone change, or was it?
It was giving up, just under 6,000 square foot, so for the two lots, 5,900 square foot for two. So I was just wondering if I could still pursue that, to use on it, it's still gonna take time anyway to get to the more as a potential, but if there's an option to still subdivide. That's why everything will take time, if I have to start one thing building at least one, waiting for the other, I'm not sure how that works though.
You can't make an application unless the board amends zoning, which would be one. That's the first thing. And secondly, we're in a 20,000 square foot budget, water budget area here. And so the question is, would that lot support 2 more uses under health department requirements? That's also another question.
The commercial portion, if it was a dry commercial portion and the subdivision was approvable by wastewater management with on-site sanitary, I mean,
No, but
theoretically.
the question is, would wastewater management approve it? I don't know.
Potentially, because a small dry use, you're looking at less than 100 gallons a day. You don't need a tremendous amount of density wise, and it is 600 gallons a day per acre there, so it is feasible. But again, the B1 is more intense than the HC, right? It allows you to do a lot more and build.
So, I guess basically, if you could be extremely patient, and, reconsider this after all, some of these things stop being as such flux. It is a consideration to be made by this board, okay? But But at this time, I think, again, it would be premature. I'm sorry. Okay? Anyone else have anything? Board members? No? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You can leave the chair there.
Okay.
I have to send you the survey.
You're gonna send me this email. That's okay. I can imagine.
Joanne, we have a great deal else on our agenda, and you're not on the agenda. So out of courtesy, this is to do with Ashley Bayside and our village property and so on and so forth. Do you want to have a seat and share what you have to share?
So,
The board, I should just let you know, the board is aware of the complaints. They've been sent photographs. They've gotten a series of emails of inquiries, complaints, and so on and so forth. So they're just as familiar with the situation, I think, as they can be, but go ahead.
Well, I wanna apologize for taking up anyone's time with any complaints, because that's not what we do at Jimcat. I've been on the property even before Discovery purchased it, so I'm very aware of rules and know a lot of these spaces for many years. I've been on that property for 30 years. So I get the calls and have people bothering, especially on the weekends, not what we look to do. What we started doing was we had a lot of younger children that don't want to use the ocean or afraid of the ocean. We had the kayak permits there, so to make it easier, we were like, okay, we can bring you guys over to the bay, we can use the paddle boards, the kayaks, and set up, 2 little chairs there, have a small cooler, umbrellas. When we originally started, one of the kids that went over there thought it was a great idea, which didn't really work out well, was to put like an easy up tent. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. And I spoke to, Nick, and he was like, you can't do that. You can't have anything like branded. It's not your beach. It's not what we were looking to do. We're just looking to use that public space, like as if we put chairs on the ocean side. If we have 2 people there, we were doing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If we have 2 to 4 people there amongst those 3 days, it's a lot. It's just to be able to use that little space there when we're using the kayaks and stuff.
Well, I think the difficulty is that you're using it as an expanded offering to your patrons, and it's public space. So, I guess in my mind, it equates to like the paddleboard concession that we have down at the marina. It's where it's a commercial business operating on our public property. And they have to go through we went through an RFP, which is request for proposals, which means they put in proposals, they bid on it. And they contract with us and have insurances and all those kinds of things in place so that they can operate their business on our property. And we put it out to bid, it's usually a 2-year bid. And we put it out to the highest responsible bidder, as we are supposed to, as a government entity. Now, if you're just having 1 or 2 patrons carry a chair across and plop the chair down and use it and then carry it back, that, to me, that's a different situation than setting up a whole, situation for limited use or exclusive use of your patrons on village property. It's a different kind of a situation to me. And legally and insurance-wise, and I was alarmed when I saw a beached jet ski with a key in it, and life jackets hanging from an umbrella, and the cooler and the chairs, and also a propulsion unit. To me, that's an insurance nightmare on public property because of the liability. So it was surprising to me that was there when I got the complaint and went down and looked myself and took pictures. So, any other board member wanna chime in, let me know.
You know, it's village property, you know, the same rules that apply to everywhere, every village property, you have to apply there, so. Yeah. Like the mayor said, you know, if it was something that would become like an RFP and go through the whole process, and insurance is huge, and sure. We don't have to tell you, like, anybody looks at, you know, chance to jump on something liability wise, it's.
I think the last aspect is this, they have to be walked across the street.
Yeah.
Set one chair and set them up and then walk back across the street instead of setting up and, you know, instead of staging anything.
Right.
You know, just have it where,
Well, we deal with a
Whoever
lot of
beats it,
like young
whoever's
kids
doing
over
it.
there, so what they were doing was going over there before they were bringing kids over, putting the chairs down, leaving the chairs and the umbrellas there, and then, you know, if the kids wanna come over, then our attendants would be with them.
It's humorous now, but it wasn't at the time. One of the complainants to me said, wow, there's a jet ski with a key in it, can I take it? And this is a village resident, I said, no, it's not yours, what are you doing? So, it's a public beach, supposed to be for public use, and that's where we get into the difficulty, I believe. If you were setting these things up and having it available to the general public, that would be a tremendous liability as well, but we would, I mean, insurance-wise, but it's the exclusivity, I think, is the part of the
when
difficulty.
you got, you know, staging, set them up across the street and then somebody has to just walk them over and then set them up and then go back and get them. That was
I guess
sort of
my
borderline.
thought of it initially was, what is the difference of us setting up the same chairs on the sand at Dune Deck on the ocean side versus there? It's still town property.
You're not setting it up on the village ocean side, on the village-owned ocean. You're setting it on your ocean side, correct?
But we don't own the sand.
Well, I mean,
In front of the high mark.
high tide mark,
You probably do own the ocean, you're subject to.
yeah, to the high tide mark.
Mhm.
And if
Is
you,
it
I think
possible-
if we reverse the situation, if we had village residents coming and setting up a chair and umbrella over in front of your property and just leaving,
And they do.
they do on your front.
Not all the way from, they do, and we just let it go, as long as,
Right.
we're not looking to, we wanna be friendly with the community.
Right.
You know, as long as they're not using our towels or our chairs, you know, a lot of times, if that beach is, and they wanna be over the jetty, we don't say.
But it's,
So I guess I'm here today to just say, what can we do? Like, what can we do so you're not getting bothered on the weekend? The police department's not getting bothered, like, what can we work out where it's fair to the village? Is there a permit we can purchase? Like, we already have the kayaks there, you know?
I think the kayak rack and the kayaks, that's been going on for, I don't know,
Since 2017.
yeah, quite a few years. And that has not been an issue, no complaints issued about it. And if you just wanna have individuals go over and use a kayak, that's fine, or individuals use a chair here and there, that's fine, as long as they don't, it's not a set-up kiosk kind of situation for you, your patrons' exclusive use. That's where the difficulty comes in. If they're carrying the chairs over there on their own and removing them when they're finished, that's fine. Because that's what a residential family should do. I mean, if they carry their beach chairs onto the beach and they set it up, they take it away when they're done.
So at 2:00, let's say, a family wants to go, they wanna maybe use the kayaks, we're gonna bring the two younger ones over. So I can have them, bring them over there, they can set up a chair for the child while they're there, they can set up an umbrella, and then when they're done at 2:30, we can take that stuff away and go back across the street. I just wanna make sure, I wanna eliminate like the
Gotta be the
stress of
amenable
everybody.
option,
Yes.
everybody that's right.
And it's not staged, it's something you're offering
Yeah,
to patrons within the confines of the village rules.
Right, because we're not charging for anything, they're members, they own at Dune Deck. So it's not like that in tennis where they're transient people, they're gonna be there once, like these people are there.
Right, because he's trying to be accommodating for the other people that
Yeah.
walk in the street, so we have to be careful with.
And no one's ever off.
No,
No one's ever over there. Why would you wanna be there when you could be at the other,
Yeah.
you know?
But if you do it that way, and somebody does complain, the mayor or any of us can simply answer, they follow the rules.
I think that's what you should say, but the aggravation.
Yeah, because I'm not.
But you don't need the aggravation. You
I
don't
don't,
need the
I work
aggravation.
enough, so I work enough. I don't
She
need to
don't
work
want
a
the
lot.
aggravation, nobody wants.
We're right there with you. We, you know.
Yeah, I should point out that since you're using what the village, the board expresses it, you won't acquire any rights to that property, you know, like, just because you've used it this year or whatever, that's still retained, it's always village property. Things could change on it. The board could change, the board could have different rules, different understandings, different
And
policies.
as it has, you know,
So,
I'm just,
Okay,
alright, thank you.
we're all
Have a
good?
great rest of
Okay,
your
thank
day.
you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me, get that in before you guys got into your busyness. Thank you.
The next thing on the agenda, Percy Street property discussion. Chris, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but we have property in West Hampton on Percy Street and,
it was a lot, sort of, an old file map, an old subdivision map, that in order to, and it wasn't on an existing roadway. And under the Southampton, this is not in the village, under the Southampton code, the only way that you can develop it is to go and get approval to build a road and driveway to their specifications. It then becomes buildable. And how long did it take? About a year? Or maybe more?
maybe more.
Finally, we got the approval, the title company certified that it was on the map, you could take advantage of the paper roads on the map. And the road review committee approved it, and it took a long time for the engineer to impose whatever conditions, they're not very onerous, to build the road. And now we have a fairly large parcel there that is not big enough for 2 lots. Though you could make a variance to try application to do that. And the question is, what do we do? I think the question that you want is, do we put the road in and market it? Because everybody wants, I think, to market it, is not the idea.
I think we're in agreement, we should
Sell it.
sell it, because we have no use for it. But the question is whether they're, put the road in and sell it and let them, the buyer, pursue a zone change or a variance or whatever, or just to sell it with the road opening permit, which will lapse in a year, correct? I think it's a 1-year permit, and then we would have to renew it, or do we build the road and sell it with the road?
Well, the answer to that is if you decide to try to market it and you get your price within a relatively reasonable period of time, you don't have to put the road in. If it's a long time to market and it's gonna look like you may risk having to do it all over again, you may have to bite the bullet.
Is
So,
the permit for the road transferable to the new owner?
It's also not a road, it's a driveway.
Access.
It's just,
yeah,
it's not like a 50-foot with
Right.
drainage, what they asked for was pretty reasonable. It's enough for emergency fire apparatus to.
okay.
So, like a very basic question would be, what would the ROI be on putting the road in? Like, is it cost effective? Like, are we gonna make it
I
back?
think it makes sense to put the road, but just a driveway, that makes sense to put it in, so an access it.
You'd have more people interested in it.
Sure.
And you're not gonna worry about losing the road permit.
It's always,
That
back
will-
in the day when I used to represent people buying and selling property, it's always easier to sell something that's simple,
Sure.
Yes.
you know, like.
Well, machinery was always buying.
Can't we just make that out of like stone? Just put bases out of stone on it?
There are specific requirements that
I didn't know.
their highway superintendent's gonna wanna inspect, just like Matt would for driving.
Yeah.
So the only catch to us or paving under the road is we're gonna be prevailing wage, rates versus a private owner installing. So I mean, that maybe not a huge problem when you're talking about handling real estate, it might be something worth noticing. Let's
And
get some votes on it, see what we come up with.
being the new guy and asking questions, that's not something the DPW can do.
Yeah, that would be like a contractor's, we're isolated to a lot of maintenance items and some small projects, but.
I mean, it makes sense to me, how long, how do the neighbors feel?
That's the
That's the other thing.
That's the other part,
That's the other part.
yes.
We do have one neighbor that has been adamant that he thinks he has rights to it. And Kim has brought up the fact it might be a good idea to communicate to this neighbor that, yes, we're gonna sell the property, and Mr. Angel thought, and I would agree, that if we notify one neighbor, we should notify them all, in case one of the neighbors might be interested in purchasing it, who knows? So I think
You might bring an action, claims to own it by adverse possession. I don't know what it's based upon.
Right.
Right.
Well, the nice thing to do is let the neighbors know that it's happening and let them just be aware, since we don't.
If he wants to bring an action.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess what the question before us right now is, should we build the road, notify the neighbors we're selling it?
I think
Or put it out on
we should
RFP.
build a village, gonna get more money for the property and.
Yeah.
if it- if
We've
it's
been
not
getting a
that
price
expensive,
on how much
How long is
the
the
road
road?
is.
Right.
We
If it's-
Brad has done a couple estimates on it, but it really does change different times of prevailing wage too.
Okay. Can we put out an RFP for,
I can get, without even going.
Get some
far, I
prices.
can get-
Okay. would you please?
underneath the public bidding? No, it would be over that, it would be over 35,000.
Makes sense, and then as a
Yeah.
courtesy, notify the neighbors, this is our intention.
It has to go a bit of a ways, that's why it's definitely gonna be over 35,000. I mean, our estimates are like around 50, I don't anticipate it being more than 60, but
Okay.
if you're looking at a potentially close to $1 million piece of property, I think people would like to stand on the property, be able to drive up to the property, stand on the property.
Yeah, they're gonna wanna feel that this person can access it already.
Right. We do have the road opening permit, so we could easily proceed with that as soon as we get estimates, and then take the lowest estimate or whatever.
You have to do a public bid if it's over
Yeah.
35,000.
Right.
But it would not be difficult for somebody like Vinnie Gordiella to convert those requirements into a bid package, right?
Right.
We could just, whatever's in there, he has to put it in a little bit more detail. Most of these contractors, they do that stuff, so they're very used to it. You'll get a lot of bidders. Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing down, Matt, to get prices,
Me.
okay? And then, I think we have pretty much an agreement on how we're gonna proceed, and
I think we're gonna go in there, it's gonna make accessibility, you're gonna sell quick, people might take longer to go and buy it a week, you know, so.
Right.
And then if they wanna subdivide and get a variance, that's on them.
That's not a problem.
they have to be a savvy buyer.
They're out there.
Okay, got it.
Also, are we in agreement that we'll tell the neighbors and notify the surrounding neighbors that we are going to be selling it?
I think it
Should we
might
do
be
that
best,
now?
you should do it now or do it after we build the road? Now?
No, would any other properties benefit from that road also be put in, or the driveway?
No.
Okay.
No,
I'm trying to remember anything over here.
No.
Okay.
Notifying them now is a great idea, because you
Yeah.
never know, one of them might even say,
We'll take it with
Right.
us.
Take it.
We'll
Yeah.
take it
Well,
without
also,
doing
it's
it.
just it's a nice thing to do to let them, we don't have to do it, but they would probably not know we're having this work session, and just so everyone is aware of what we're considering with our own property. It's just,
It's all
What?
good, it's all about transparency.
Transparency.
So it,
Okay.
Should we get an appraisal?
With the road, I don't know if that's
You wanna do the appraisal after the road
probably
is built?
after the road.
I would say the appraiser would do it even there, which is, he would estimate the amount, or he or she would estimate the amount of the road. You can get an appraisal now. And start that process.
Get an appraisal now?
That
Yes.
sounds good.
Okay.
I'll
Yes.
reach out and find out who can do it, and then you can, if we get a name, we'll get a few proposals.
It's almost two.
it's like
It's
1.8.
Yeah.
It's not quite 80,000.
What do you think, Tom?
I don't know. I mean, I think two would be nice, but it's definitely over $1 million, I would say.
In planning board, zoning board, we do mailings in the 200-foot radius. Do you want to set a radius? Have any, as far as identification?
You would need to do that? Not in this particular.
We don't need to do that, but I think the board wants to notify the neighbors of
The correct thing to do, and beyond the 200 feet, I'm sure word of mouth might happen too.
and we should send a note, if we're going to do that to those neighbors, we should send a notice to the town so that they can just put the correspondence in their normal, their council meetings.
Okay.
Because anytime we mail close to the boundary, we also send it to them and they put it right in their agenda this way. If
Okay, good. The more public this is, the better.
Yes.
we wouldn't have to put it in the paper, or do you want, I don't know what the plan is.
Doesn't cost that much to put in the paper.
Not required to do anything, but the rules are different for towns than they are for villages, so it's not something that we.
You can err on the side of caution in the paper too. It doesn't cost that much.
Check everything out, just get
Notification that we're
Looking to market this property as a,
I wouldn't put it in the buffer yet, no.
No? Okay.
This is surplus property, I doubt that you need a.
you don't need to.
We don't
Either.
need it. But I think that like
Transparency.
I think that because it's vacant and probably has been for a long time, the neighbors are gonna come in and be upset that they didn't know what we were doing with their own property, which we know we don't have to. But it might be easier for us and better to let them know someone might wanna purchase it. I mean, we're gonna do it anyway, really, because it's our property and that's our plan. But it would be the neighborly thing to do to let them know.
Would anybody even read that legal notice?
Yeah, but it doesn't cost that much, at least we could say we did it, and then,
I have no problem with it, they
Yeah.
could just say, all right, but I would say the restaurant's already intent to do it or something.
correct, yes.
Just that.
Or intent to market, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Percy Street? No? Okay. Next item, windmill benches. We got a proposal or some ideas, not really a proposal, several ideas from Eleanor Montefusco, who happens to be my daughter-in-law's sister, so whatever that makes her. And she's also a landscape architect and highly interested in this project. So I emailed everybody once again all the proposals. Personally, I like the teak benches. I think some of the stone changes would be interesting, but also, I don't know, aggressive, I guess, I don't know what.
Keep it uniform with the rest of the village.
Yeah.
It should match everything else.
Should,
I think anywhere, my opinion, anywhere the village is going to put a bench going forward, it should be uniform. Like it's the image of the village, I think it's important to keep that.
okay. Well, the other aspect is the maintenance of the teak benches that keeps bringing, for some reason, he keeps bringing up all these, we have 100 and something benches.
No, there's some wood over there.
But anyway, I would agree the teak are the most, least obtrusive or blatant or whatever you wanna call it. And policemen, I would think along the approach walkways on the opposite side of the lighting would be maybe.
I also like having, like, there's one right there, there's like one on the Great Lawn facing the street.
Right.
But I think it'd be nice to have a few on the Great Lawn in addition to the walkway, like you had said, facing the Great Lawn.
On along Pootunk in the shade,
Yes. And
Yes.
like under the trees.
yes.
So maybe, I mean, I'm talking like
It's
4
long-term,
or
yeah.
5, not like 10.
I guess what we're asking also is if, are we going to set up site proposals? And if people wanna donate a bench, we have these sites available, you buy the bench, you buy the plaque, and pick your location, or are we gonna buy the benches, put them in the location, and then somebody says, I want that bench, then they have to pay for it and get the plaque. I don't know how you wanna prioritize the, or sequence the
I kinda like the
series.
second one, we already put it in, and I think Maureen has a list of people already that are interested, instead of having them choose. Just give them less options, and it's here, and this is, and they do the plaque themselves, right?
They pay, well, the idea is they pay, these benches are gonna be more expensive,
Yes.
cause prices have gone up, more expensive than the ones we've gotten in the
But
past.
we put it in paper now, but they still pay
Yes.
for later when it's done.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That's the best option.
Because then you'll have it done and
Yeah, in
not have
place.
to wait and put this
And
one,
if
this
they
one in.
wanna memorialize it with the plaque, then they have to pay the cost of the bench
Yes.
and the cost of the plaque and select the location, whatever from that to be.
The old benches, you just bought a plaque, you didn't buy a spot. This one, you're selling a spot.
Well, the old benches, we didn't let people negotiate a spot, let's put it that way.
Just because when they, DPW was taking a power wash or paint or whatever, they don't always go back to the.
One of the nicest ones. They've been very possessive of these things.
Yes,
And this led to another previous conversation we had about 4 or 5 years ago as to the legacy of these benches, because we're responsible in perpetuity, so they're just buying the cost of the bench. If we move it, they scream at us. If we leave it, and we don't maintain it, they get mad, and I get concerned because we have 136 benches already throughout the village. And,
so what's 144?
I agree, it would be a beautiful spot.
No, I understand, what you're saying, though, in 10 years, in 20 years from now, we bought these benches twice.
Right, and they pay
They pay
once,
for it,
and they have like almost like an impartial possessive ownership.
We just
Does it,
increase
what,
the
well,
cost.
is that a thing that's written, does it have to be in perpetuity, why can't we say it's in 10 years?
I wanted to change it to a lifetime, if somebody crashes their car into it, I'm not gonna hold that, person responsible to do it, we'll replace it, but, sometimes these things just wear and tear, they are wood. But I'd come up with a concept of more of like a annual sponsorship, because one of the other issues we have is with some of these benches, when we redid Main Street, we pulled them all out, we had no contact information from these people, they had already passed, or their family members are gone, and we had no way to contact them, and then all of a sudden we get a random phone call, hey, it was just out there, and we moved that bench like 5 or 6 years ago, and they're just now getting, my grandmother had a bench, and we had no way to know who you were, we didn't know where it went beyond that, so my concept originally was to make like an annual sponsorship, and that would also allow us to have the opportunity to have their contact information if something did go wrong or if we wanted to remove it. And if people stopped paying, then we would take the plaque off and allow it to somebody else. Because right now, these 136 benches are basically owned, and without the actual word owned, almost like an informal license to them.
We have a similar problem with some of the plaques for trees and plants and tree dies, and we still got the plaque there, things like that, so it
What about,
is,
how much is it for a bench?
That's $1,600 to $2,000 a piece.
Like that people donate and have their plaque, is it that
oh,
same?
right now, I think we were asking 1,200, and the plaque is another 1 or 2.
Okay, so it's
COVID, the prices skyrocketed on these teak benches. We couldn't get them, couldn't touch them. We weren't even able to replace them for about 3 or 4 years. Even now, we can get pieces here and there, and that's why I started leaning towards the PVC benches. They're not as pleasant, but they make beautiful ones. Some people said metal. I don't like the idea of the metal ones because they can get really hot in the sun. I was just trying to think of alternatives where we're not replacing these, because we did have to replace quite a bit of them.
How long do they last?
It depends if in their direct sunlight versus in the shade, if they're, you know, if they dry out, they seem to last a little better than ones that just sit in there in the shade and just kinda, you know, get mossed all over.
So it's gonna stick the teeth fast, not on the plastic crap.
That's, I was just offering a suggestion because, yes.
Yep. There's a team cleaner, but you can't power wash teeth. Destroy it.
When we were doing some of the cleaners, it was killing the grass and flowers all around it in the beds, so it just adds up when you have 135 of them, even if you spend a couple minutes on each spread and the machine's moving down every single time.
Like, it's probably not yearly, but it's almost like you buy it for 5 years, and 5 years, if you don't wanna renew it,
I was
then
just
it
looking at
goes,
it
it goes to the next person, because then in 5 years, it'll, at least that bench will last that long.
Right.
And you can buy it for 10 years if you want to, like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then,
you
I agree with that.
can price it accordingly. The perpetuity thing is a lovely idea, but I don't think it's realistic.
Well, it's very nice,
People,
and like you said,
Well, the reason I mentioned that is because we had gotten off track for a little while, and people were coming in requesting benches and locations here and there, and we really, I guess, the original intent of the program was to just offset the cost of installing these, you know, and people were taking the sponsorship. So that's why I kind of led to the idea of like a sponsorship. Now, we would still buy the benches, and they would sponsor their plaque on there. In reality, if they ever stopped paying, we would just mail the plaque back to them, and that would be the end of it. But we would still maintain possession of the bench where we put it if we wanted to take it, if we wanted to remove it out. And that was the idea of the annual subscription, so we'd have the contact information to be able to reach out to them. Because people are not gonna contact us and update the information otherwise, so. My original intent was, we just own the benches, we pay for them. And their subscription just, it covers the plaque costs and the annual, doesn't have to be $1,600 every year, it could be $99, it could be $59 a year. You know, and then that would offset the cost to replace over a period of time.
Well, if you figure a bench is, let's say for the ease of computation, $3,000. The last 15 years. So you divide it up in 5-year increments and then re-up every 5 years. And if you don't re-up, sell it to somebody else or whatever, and then you have funds to replace the bench when it comes time in 15 years.
I like that idea. Is there, but changing it on people that think they have it for life, how is that?
Well, they get first refusal on
Okay.
re-upping.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
say if they have a plaque on it and they
Yeah.
wanna, they get first refusal. And
That
if,
sounds good.
you know, something like that.
And if you send like a registered letter saying time's coming up and you don't get a response back, then
Now you have so much time to respond, yeah.
Or a registered email. I think registered letters are gonna go by the wayside. I don't know.
I do enjoy a good letter. I know.
something with receipts.
Yes.
Well, we can, we don't have to make the decision tonight.
But,
Start something, let it roll over.
yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too is, I think we all agree on the benches to keep it consistent with what we have. So we
Okay.
know what we want in order. I know some are 3, 4, 6 feet, they're different sizes.
Different sizes, and you
Uh,
can have different sizes in different locations.
Yes.
You can vary it a little bit.
Yeah, so that's something, but we should think about ordering the number we wanna order and then figure out the 5-year or figure out a plan, so we can just get that.
So is there a contingent of 2 trustees that would like to put together a final order of, I don't know, 6, 8 benches and placement and sizes? And all
Sure.
antique?
I will do it. Yeah. We have more than 2, so.
More than 2, okay, a committee of 3, that's good, because you can argue among each other and then vote.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Chris and Kim, okay?
I
Okay,
gotta yell from there across the.
Right.
Right, you can only meet
yeah.
2 at a time.
I mean, I think we pretty much have an idea of the outside just being under trees and equidistant apart so that it looks symmetrical for the outside, and then, like you said, on the inside, have them up by the walkway. So maybe those are
Sure.
maybe not as many.
I was thinking on the opposite side of the lighting, wherever the lighting is, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, the lighting is on one side of the
But you're
walkway.
not involved, that's up
Yes.
Okay,
You're gonna be surprised.
And I'm gonna be quiet from now on. You see that? I just had that. Okay. Anything else on that? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. Next item is Dune Road. We've contacted, Brad has finally contacted Young and you contacted. We have yet to get a proposal for them to survey Dune Road with the, thought of putting a bike path, from bridge to bridge or potentially bridge to bridge to Quogue. We'll see, and it's gonna be, the Rogers Bridge to Quogue, I think, should be an alternate. So if we see that it costs too much money to even survey it, we can just nix it and just go bridge to bridge, so.
Yep.
That's still in the works, in other words.
And last week they said the proposal should be soon, so that's why it's still on the agenda, but we didn't get it in yet.
Right, okay. Next thing, project status list. We had Kim came in and she and I worked on this together. Just to, an overview of some of the projects that we have ongoing or are wrapping up. And the trustees all got a copy of it. So how do you want to discuss this project by project? If you have a question, I can go down. I think a pretty complete description of the status of these. Or do you want to just ask questions? Of Kim and I individually, because we're the most familiar with them, or how do you want to handle this? I want the trustees to be up to date and not in the dark for these things. So if you've had time to go over it and you want to ask a question now, that's fine. Or if you want to bring it up at another work session later, that's fine.
Thank you. So we talked about the bike path. I think a lot of these are to a point where we're just waiting on stuff. So it's fine to, there's really not that much to do. We did talk about the Percy Street property. One thing is the Main Street parking project. We discussed adding parking on the south side of Main Street. And we're gonna speak to Ron Hill about, whether the configuration of if it's gonna be parallel or the perpendicular to keep it the same and the viewing and how that will affect everything. And then figure out how to move forward. We're hoping that will give more parking spaces specifically over there for the farmer's market and for other things, going forward. I mean, I'm hoping people use it. They don't like to walk far, but I think having that.
Chief observed, and
Yeah.
I did.
It seemed like they're using it just as parallel parking right now.
As parallel parking, yeah.
They're going pretty far down, I think they're going down to, Hospital,
Yeah,
or Griffin.
on both sides, you said,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So,
So if we just add, maybe the perpendicular might give us more spots, but I know that's a different kind of
Yeah.
project. So we'll have to talk to Ron Hill about that and have him map it out.
yeah, it's definitely being used on Saturdays.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
good.
Thank you for taking.
They're already doing it, but we need to formalize it, I guess. So-
Yeah.
so that it is.
Perpendicular would be nice if we come in from east.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to be doing a U-turn, which Rob can't stand.
Only other thing I do have to bring up is electric bikes. We gotta do something about that.
So
They're riding wheelies down the middle of the road, they're whizzing in and off the sidewalk. Somebody's gonna get killed. So we really gotta sit down and do something. We gotta take these bikes from these kids. They have no respect. I mean, they go past my house over here. Yesterday, they were riding a wheelie, one was riding a wheelie down the middle of Mill Road, and the other one was riding down the sidewalk. So if you're pulling out of your driveway, you can't anticipate a kid doing 15, 20 miles an hour on the sidewalk. I mean, so somebody's gonna get killed, or somebody's gonna get really hurt. So I don't know what we can do. I know Glen Cove has put a plan in that they said they're pulling it, they're not allowed. They banned the bikes for the kids.
I
They
said
have some,
that
they have
to
a
you.
process, something in Glen Cove, they did something in Glen Cove with electric bikes.
I think
But
I said
it's
that.
totally, someone's gonna get killed, it's really gonna be an issue, and I don't know what to do with it, but I'm saying, so we, as a board, I think we really gotta not put our head in the sand about this, cause it's gonna happen. It's gonna come sooner than we think, cause the kids right now are going down Main Street, riding a wheelie down the middle of Sunset Avenue and Main Street, and on the sidewalks whizzing in and out, so somebody's gonna back out and not see you.
You're right, bro, they're definitely a problem. What we did is we coordinated with the school, and they did put out an email to the parents, trying to educate the parents a little bit on it. So to try and curb it, but also on the enforcement side, it's kinda hard to grab some of these kids. And
I
it's-
know, but
it's-
I'm saying,
they see it coming.
we should just take the bikes and then say, hey, parents gotta come down and sign it. Sign that you're being notified now. You gotta just pull the bikes in and take your tickets. I don't know what else to do with it. I'm seriously, like I said, only yesterday, because I was working by the front of my house, and then we went by, and the kids are cursing, and one's riding a wheelie down the middle, between the traffic, and the other kid is riding on the sidewalk. Like that, so if I'm just backing on my driveway slowly at 2 miles an hour, I can't see this kid, and all of a sudden, somebody's gonna get killed. That's what we go seriously put, so I think, I don't know what to do.
It's starting to become a statewide problem. I know the state has just started telling us that we have to report these accidents as well.
Because these things, like, the speed limit's 15 miles an hour in the school, but these kids are doing 25, 30 miles an hour on these electric bikes.
Well, they're young, they're not.
They're young, they're not even, but they're still, they're still
They're not supposed to be on.
They're not supposed to be
definitely
on that.
speeding beyond the speed limit.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, that's,
And
and
in traffic.
they're weaving in and out, so I don't know what to do with it. I'm just putting it out there, everybody has an idea, I don't know exactly what we should do with it, but I think
That's
something's gotta be done.
This is the Glen Cove
This is
Police
the Glen
Department.
Cove thing, and really, they didn't pass a code, they're just highlighting the fact that they're illegal. And
Yeah.
the law is in place if it goes over 25 miles an hour, if it doesn't have pedals and all these kinds of things, it's already illegal.
Right.
And telling parents that the police department is gonna enforce it and impound the electric bike, and the fine is, I guess, $300, $350, and increases $30 a day for storage, but that's their impound fees.
Yeah, we didn't go that far in the release that we did with the school about impounding and fees, but we did put it out there.
Right.
Indicating the models, they're illegal for persons under 16.
Right.
Required equipment, so we started going that route. It's definitely a problem, but I'd be interested to see how Glen Cove came about that, maybe working towards that.
I think
Yeah, I
that
can
this
send
just
this to
looks like a notification.
It was just a
I just think it's gonna be
They
something,
were-
some of these old people walking, you get hit by that bicycle on the sidewalk, cause they're whizzing in now, somebody's gonna get hit, get killed.
But I think that they don't, like, just having young boys, they don't realize that. So I think it's on the parents
Well, no, you have to take
because,
the parents have
Yeah.
still responsibility.
I mean, they
They're
shouldn't
buying this
have
bike for
any
this kid. So somebody has to take responsibility, just like our children, but we have to take this own responsibility.
Yep.
We can't, so, I don't know what to do, but we have to do something about it. I think we can't really sit back and wait, it's gonna happen, it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
I did see that the school put out, and they did mention that you had mentioned to them that there's an uptick in the bikes, and this is legal, this is not legal. There's a nice chart that you can see if your bike goes this fast or if it's this, and then it's on the parents. So it was sent out to all the parents in the school to try to get them to tell their kids not to do that. I mean, it's
But the only way you're gonna make that happen is have
maybe
to
if we do
enforce
the
it.
impound.
Once people start having to pay or something else
Yeah.
happens, then now you see how they can twist it around. Right now, I think it's all bullshit, because it's just a piece of paper that's going in the garbage, and
Yeah.
because there's nothing being done about it.
Right.
So
You
that's
just gotta be careful with it, cause like I said, the night they was raiding them down on Main Street, I tried to go talk to them, and they took off on me.
Yeah.
So we've gotta really weigh the,
No, I know, that's why I'm asking for your professional advice, what that we should do with this.
we can start to go that way, we can look into impounding them.
I think we should impound it. That's why I can make the parents come down here and sign this piece of paper that you notarize, you're informed.
Well,
Yeah.
that's something I have to work on.
You just need to, okay, just do something that you have to.
Or maybe like first offense,
I
second
look into it, but I'm telling you, I also live in the village
I
of
know.
Rock, and I walk around. I tend to agree with him.
No, I'm just saying, I
No,
don't,
I don't think
nobody wants to sit here and watch a kid get killed, or somebody else get
Me
injured
get
or
killed
killed,
while I
or
take
you
one of
get
my
hit by it.
walks, yeah.
Cause the kids will all think they're funny riding a wheelie down the middle of Sunset Avenue with cars going both directions, and all you have to do is get us to fall in front of the car, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you're right, a lot of,
You know, so I'm just saying, I know there's gonna be something. I don't know what the answer is, but we will put our heads together, maybe we'll come up with something.
Yeah. Well, also do the Glen Cove article with that when they were not sugarcoating anything. But I think that maybe we'll just, like you said, said, it's probably hard to enforce a lot of it. So
Yeah,
we'll
we
have to
just
figure
have,
something
in
out.
our case, we're dealing with juveniles, there's a lot of juvenile laws that we gotta be aware of, and then being able to contact a parent. The big thing is just trying to get them to stop first, so we can actually have a conversation with them. We were successful with that last year, being down on Main Street, hey guys, come on over here, speaking to them, let them know about the laws and send them on the way, but many times they're back the next night, so.
Well, next time we just break the budget.
Chief, you noticing that a lot of locals or seasonal?
No, there's a lot of local.
But, well,
Just give us a few.
mind the distance that they're able to come from, you're getting them from Remsenburg, East Quogue, they're coming from all over, it's not just kids from generally West Hampton Beach, they're coming from everywhere, because these bikes can go 80 miles on a charge.
And you don't have to wait for your parent to take you, you
Right.
just go,
You just go.
so.
Right.
And they're riding at night with no lights on either.
Yep.
Just like I said, we do it 15, 20, 30 miles an hour, no light on. You can't see this kid coming.
I
You
know.
know, so I'm just saying, not to hop on it, but I think we gotta do something.
Yeah.
Something's gotta be done.
I'll handle it.
Okay, anything else on project status list?
Just one thing with the emergency notification system. So we talked to Ryan Murphy about creating something, some kind of emergency like alert system to the residents that they'd have to sign up for. And then if there was an evacuation, if there was a message we needed to send out to them, that we'd be able to kind of like text and communicate versus going door to door and figuring that out. So we're working on that, but there's also a county one, Smart 911, is that what it is? So there's a county one, and then I think there's a town one for Dune Road.
Yes, for Dune Road, right?
So there's kind of
That's-
a
that's,
few,
Mostly geared towards hurricane and storm
Yes.
evacuations, the Dune Road one.
Right.
You know, they could easily, when our discussion with Ryan, we could set up a QR code. Everybody gets the QR code and then it takes you to a website and tells you what the emergency is or notifies your phone or, you know.
yeah, trying to figure out how to notify people.
The thing that prompted this is the fires, and we got, a lot of us got calls, are we evacuating, what's
Yeah.
going on, what do we do, and all this kind of stuff,
Is
so.
that something you can talk to the phone companies? Cause I know like AT&T and Verizon, if, you know, on their location, if there's like a hurricane or something, all the phones go off.
Oh, yeah, like they send it all over.
We had a program with Jeff, Code Red.
Yeah,
They would send a text to whoever signed up, you know.
that's what we wanna do, yeah. So we're trying to figure out like a text system, people will have to sign up for it. But trying to get that together before the end of December, just so that people that are here, even if they're not here during an emergency, they'd still be able to know or notify neighbors or check on things or whatever they need to do. Yeah, and just get factual information, because once you start paying telephone, it's hard.
People don't, they update their contact information.
Yes.
That's another issue we see with the
Yeah.
fire alarms and stuff. And what you're talking about, Chris, is like national alerts.
Is that
That's a federal standard where they could force that message to the phones, regardless of what carrier you have. Like they could force Amber alerts, they could do that with, they could do with hurricanes and, you know, natural disasters and stuff. That is, I'm surprised they don't have a more isolated local program for
I
that.
worked with Brian Murphy when he had set up the one for Dune Road.
Yeah.
So we can continue on down that path. I think
It's good to have something,
Probably the best avenue to
Yeah.
go through. He seems to be really involved in that.
Right.
Understand how to get pushed out.
He was very open when we
Oh,
discussed.
He's
very
he's
good.
very easy to work with.
Yeah,
Get into the taxes, too.
and it seems that,
Get into the taxes. This way you can go, hey, listen, my impact.
yeah, when we send out the tax bill, you can sign up for emergency, that's good. Yeah.
What about, what's the last thing about the fire was, everybody keeps bringing it to my attention, how it goes off 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 times a day.
Over
Yeah,
seven.
we had this piece of paper set up in the van. You know, that's what I said, I heard it. But it keeps going off that, I mean, it should be tested once a week that it works as a backup, but it shouldn't be go off every day.
You see, this is, conversation has been brought up several times in the past, and we do have a history, we did have an agreement. I sent a copy of it. In that agreement, the thing that stands out to me and has stood out throughout this conversation is that the fire commissioners say, and they are correct, that we have no authority over that. That's it. Bottom line, we have no authority over that. the only way we could achieve authority over them, in my mind, is to pass a code of some sort that has a noise component to it. And we already have a noise code, but it doesn't apply to the fire alarm. But I don't see us winning a fight or arguing with them. We have to persuade them. Yes, persuade them that it's in the best interest of the public and of them.
Or even have it where it doesn't go off after certain such hours.
Well, that's already, supposedly it's not supposed to go off between 11 PM and 6 AM. But on occasion it does.
Yeah, I've said it publicly. I have the utmost respect for EMS. I was in it for 10 years.
Right.
They also need to respect the community that they serve. And
If we can reapproach the fire commissioners, they meet, I think, at least monthly.
Can we all,
You can go as a member from the public, dude. You
Uh,
gotta, it's never, go there,
it
too.
would be nice instead of trying to have authority over them to try to work together and say,
We did,
this is what we.
admittedly in the past, once, when Maria Moore was mayor, we did talk to them, arrange to have a noticed meeting, our noticed meeting at their meeting. If you want me to approach them to do that again
Yes.
and arrange that, and we can, however many of us can show up, then all 5 of us or 4, whoever can make it.
Yeah.
it's antiquated, and I read what you sent, and to say that, it's to notify the members have the pager, the members have the 911 app. If they're not responding, they're not gonna respond for a whistle. And again, saying that we need it to notify members to respond, then tell me how the ambulance company answers all their calls. They don't have a siren going off. I think working together and respecting each other is paramount, absolutely. And especially since I understand when they were after you guys about the sign, that was one of the things that they were touting. We need to have a better relationship with the village. Yet the community is upset about the siren, and you continue to sound it.
I'd be glad to approach the commissioners, ask them when their next meeting is, and ask them to put us on the agenda, and we can notice a meeting that meet at that location, public meeting, board of trustees.
Yep.
Yes? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. All right.
Are you not coming to that meeting?
Can I be in the public meeting?
Well, maybe the public wants to come.
So you advertise.
Okay.
It's so loud. You can't give yourself.
It is to the point where it's physically harmful, I think, if you're
Yes.
within the vicinity constantly.
Yeah.
But the drops, shop and things.
I'm already deaf in one ear.
Well, I think there's a level that it cannot go above as like a state rule possibly, like 120 decibels or something.
They're just standing on the streets.
They have digital sirens, Flaminville, where I'm a firefighter, has a digital siren now, it's not nearly as aggressive, and it
That
doesn't
sounds great.
travel, it's there more for tradition than anything.
Are a lot of, and this is a question I'll ask them as well, but are a lot of the volunteers, do they live in the village? Would you say? And does anyone know the
I
answer to
would
that?
say a majority are not village residents,
Okay,
majority,
yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. You know, Chris?
There wouldn't be enough fire.
There would be that, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because the fire district boundaries exceed the village boundaries.
Yeah.
So
So typically, this, that when something's going on, Rensselaer is not coming because they hear it, and as the majority might live in West Hampton, and they might not hear it enough. Just thinking.
Okay. Anything else on that? Two projects that, no, not Next, Rogers, Beach regular proposal, DC electric plant. You gave me that proposal, I have it here somewhere, I thought. Denise's coming to my review.
Maybe.
There he is. Time. Yes, okay. So there are two choices, one's 1685 and the other's 1160. It should be done no matter what, correct?
It has to be done.
Has to be done. High end 1685 is worth the extra $500, whatever.
Based on the opportunity to expand the system further, so what happened is we had a gas-fired grill there for decades. We switched to electric. Nobody noticed that it required a change. We knew that we had to change the nozzles. We didn't realize that even though the NCEL system goes off, the gas would shut off, but the electric would still stay going. So we had to have a shunt trip put in to fire code, and we had to do it. So we didn't really have a choice, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So we might as well go ahead with the more elaborate option. Oh, no?
No.
Okay, so we can go ahead with that, we'll have a resolution at the next meeting to, okay? Use of village property, I put these in just to bring people up to date. And we will have resolutions at the August meeting. Anybody have any question about Paragon Art Show at St. Mark's? That's an annual event. FBI Barbecue is an annual event.
Yes.
At Rogers, and it's it's September. Historical Society event, also September. I have approached them, and maybe we'll try and make the windmill operational for that event and make it available for tours, so people can go into the 18-foot room and look up. The Fire Department Barbecue is an annual event, they're back at Rogers again. Seafield Center is another annual event. Knights of Columbus 5K is a relatively new annual event, I think, 5 years now? Five, okay. The Bike-a-thon is an event that they notify us, but they never stop in the village, they just kind of pass through. So it's good of them to notify us, they don't have to. And then the Chamber Fall Sidewalk Sale also. Any questions or comments about those? Anybody?
No.
Okay, good. Anything else from the board? Any questions? Go.
What can we do about the sidewalks? Like,
Which one specifically?
well, we've tried, this year we've tried some, we're at acid, we've tried cleaners. The problem is these concrete sidewalks have a fiber built into them instead of the steel rebar. It was intended to be a newer style, it's not new, it's been around for
It
decades,
was
but
to increase the longevity, the life of the sidewalk. And it accepts foods, we didn't know this at the time, accept food stains more readily than the other kinds of stuff. So this is really, it's not filth,
no,
it's more a stain.
it's not dirt, it's
Because we do power wash the sidewalks on a regular basis, we do clean the sidewalks on a regular basis. They do scorch the weeds on a regular basis, we don't use weed killer. So the maintenance is done, it's just that it's the fiber within the concrete that's accepting the staining, especially, I guess, ice cream and something else.
seems to really stick like stain
So
on
the ultimate might be to stain them black.
But there actually, a lot of the stains you'll notice are only exclusive to the south side. Originally, it was just because of the ice cream place were all there and that had a big part to it. We realized the sun was actually bleaching the north side, which was, effectively helping minimize the stain. So it's a shade issue as well, that all that side. Sidewalk is shade.
So if there's a product that somebody knows about, we'll remove the stain, and it's allowed. But we're we're willing to try.
You can make some kids with electric bikes get out there with little toothbrushes.
Some community service. That's a good one.
That won't even remove the stain. Power wash doesn't remove the stain. All right. Good. Anything else? No? Okay. And we do have, if any of you are going away in the near future, I did get notification there, one trustee is off to France. So if you're going away, let me know because we have to make sure we have a quorum for the upcoming meetings. So if you could, please let me know if you're gonna be absent for a meeting in advance, so we can.
First week of September, we go to Costa Rica.
Okay. You don't have to,
Then I'm gonna go.
you don't have to tell me in public.
Then I'm gonna go to October